Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, today we're going to take a quick look at the collective energies, masculine and feminine. Where are the counterparts at this time? Feminine's on the left, masculine's on the right, connective energy and energies coming up in the near future. So thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What is the message that we can get? What can we see for the collective feminines and masculines at this time? Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, into the future, we have tests coming up. I'm going to clarify all of these. In the shared space, we have boundaries and work. So independent. When it's in the inverse like this, I take it to mean that we're each meant to embody, focus on self, look at our own inner work, but also our relationship to the exterior work, purpose. This is something that keeps emerging since maybe November, is this purpose coming in. Feminines are getting seek and chaos in the inverse. I'm going to get to the clarifications, but I'm fascinated that the masculines have silence and home. So this is talking about the masculines taking space, blocking, ghosting, running, being in their own energy. All of these cards are in the inverse, so the next few weeks are going to be incredibly life-changing. Wow, my deck just exploded. My clarifying deck just completely went as soon as I touched it. I kind of wish you would have seen that because that was interesting. That means things are changing really, really fast. I'm actually being directed to turn these cards in the upright and directly assess what's coming up for everybody from the changes occurring. Okay, so for the feminines, seek and chaos. This is like somebody looking for the North Star, keeping that compass pointed in the direction of progress. Even though there's going to be a lot going on, Divine Feminines, there's going to be so much on your plate in the near future. You're not even going to have time to think about your masculine. But what can we see? Okay, we have this energetic conduit between counterparts, between all people, places, and things. Separation is an illusion, and go figure, we get the Eight of Coins, this inner work card landing on the work. So yes, you are being directed to stay the course with whatever your purpose is in your own right. So don't wait for your masculine to come in and partner with you to take your life to the next level with purpose. Whatever it is, feminines, that you know you need to do, even if it's inspired in part by your masculine, implement those things in your own right, establish your own foundation, make the changes to clean up karma, get on purpose, do the things that you need to do, your due diligence. That can mean ending karmic things, contracts, relationships, duties that you know aren't for you. It means healing any last remaining issues about being good on your own. And it means making the next step, whatever that may be, towards your new life coming up. Masculine, silence and home. So this is very introverted, self-nurture. Queen of Cups, developing your own intuition, Divine Masculines. Third-party situations. So we're also, you know, this future potential with the feminine. It landed right on this intuitive card. So Divine Masculines, you know that even if you are sight unseen right now, holding up in the silence, that there is a future potential that you keep coming back to because of this energetic connection that you have with the feminine you're watching this for. So we just saw in a recent reading that Divine Masculines are understanding that the Divine Feminine does not wield their psychic intuitive powers for harm or for destruction in these connections. So Divine Masculines are now seeing what a healthy intuition, a healthy psychic ability looks like, and they are emulating that. They are including it with the creature comforts and this nurturing, nourishing energy within, while they're in silence, while they're in hermit, while they're at a distance. I'm looking at the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So this is a stabilizing motion. So now we're looking at boundaries and inner work. What do the masculines need to know about those boundaries? King of Wands, this is the monogamy card for me. This is also the shamanic embodiment. This is where we walk to the beat of our own drum. So the divine masculines are really becoming self-contained and directing their sexual energy into healing, into alignment with what is actually for them. So we did get a little bit of that nudge of the third party, the feminine being the contrast to whatever else the masculine has thought was the major life path that they were expected to take for some reason. Their previous hopes and dreams and goals that were pre-existing before the feminine came into their life. This King of Wands fell on the test coming forward. So setting healthy boundaries, divine masculines, is bringing you into alignment with a test per se. So, or not per se. Tests don't really exist. As we up level in consciousness, we resonate into new paradigms that are pre-existing. So there is nothing new under the sun, but as we level up, it seems like it's new to us, so it's uncharted territory. This King of Wands is between worlds. You've set healthy boundaries, you've done the work, you're shifting work, something with alignment is changing up, so you are getting into uncharted territory, and there will be choice points. Tests are just crossroads. Tests are just examples of the infinite possibilities that come into our frame of reference that we can choose now from this new alignment. So it's not a pass or fail, but it's literally new options opening up that you haven't conceived of before. So trust yourself, divine masculines. You can't get it wrong if you do choose the path that your knowing, your heart, your growth points to. And dare I say, your passions, your true passions, not your repressions, but the authentic pull, the magnetic, the higher calling, the what you would do if you had no fear direction. What are the feminines being shown with work and boundaries at this time? Temperance. So you are seeing that you've never been more balanced, divine feminines. You've done the inner work not to be rocked like a ship at sea by the emotions, by the uncertainty, by the pull you feel to your masculine, by your sovereign path right now. What is this test coming up for the masculines? Knight of Swords, communication with the feminine. It fell over onto the feminine side. So there is going to be an opportunity where you can either go against or with ego, against or with your heart regarding your feminine. So masculines, you will be given the opportunity to communicate. It looks like if you are in your empowerment, you will take the opportunity to communicate. I'm really getting that it's going to break this silence because you've embodied enough nurture within that whatever's happening in the external world or with your feminine, it's not so daunting anymore. The shoes aren't too big, at least at whatever meeting place you can come to. It's not going to feel like you have to be all or nothing or hide away from your feminine. It's like a bridging. This Knight of Swords jumped over to the feminine side. So it feels like your capacity, your empowerment, divine masculines, is going to allow you to jump through that hoop of fear, take a leap of faith, and connect in some way. That does not mean all or nothing, does not mean that you're going to be giving away your power. It's you holding your own, even with your biggest cutting edge exploration of reality, which is represented in the physical form of your feminine, which is beautiful. What is the test for the feminines going forward in this connection? In the neutral, we get bravery. So going forward in uncharted territory in your own right, but also crossing the bridges that happen when your masculine communicates. It's in the energy that your masculine will communicate, divine feminines. So again, run every bit of communication that you get, whether it's energetically or in the 3D, through your higher guidance, so that you can discern what that vibe is that you're being met with, and then in turn, how you respond. Meditate on what is appropriate to respond from that place. So we should always be running every frequency we encounter or generate through our higher guidance. And divine feminines, your stabilizing in your autonomy. And so it's a neutral motion. You don't have to be fearful of it. You don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be assertive. You don't have to create false boundaries. You just have to know your truth. And that helps you triangulate with the divine and your counterpart. So we are kind of climatizing to these connections going forward. There's going to be an opportunity to see the growth that's happened in this last cycle, or possibly in this period of independent solitude. Okay, let's get Divine Masculine check-in. Thank you, Divine Creator. What can we see for where the Divine Masculines are on the journey? What are the Divine Masculines thinking of these connections right now? What are they feeling on the heart space? What are they wishing for the connections? What actions are they taking towards the connections? What are the biggest challenges? What are the spirit guided solutions? And what direction is this connection going in? Where are the feminines at? I'm also going to do a mirrored reading here as a response to the masculine's energy. What are the Divine Masculines thinking of these connections? I just saw 1111. It does not feel right to stay in this anymore. I'm getting that that is the silence, the blockage, the distance, and that their self-love. The Knight of Cups is love. Oftentimes it's talking about filling up our own cup before we can have enough to offer. So Divine Masculines, this again is an internal process. In the inverse, this card is talking about your truthful loving of yourself. It's no longer going to be loving to stay in this admittedly fragile state where you need to block and hedge out and create boundaries that are false constructs for safety. You don't need to hide behind these physical boundaries anymore. You're going to see that your amount of self-love says, wait a second, I don't have to be so fragile. I don't have to be so fearful. I am capable. I'm strong enough emotionally to handle more. I don't have to be so all or nothing. I don't have to be so fearful. Your feminine is not actually going to abuse or overstep or be unkind or be too intense. It's all part of the act of love, coming into safety, coming into balance. So those false constructs of needing to put physical boundaries up because the emotional stability isn't there are falling away. It doesn't feel right to be in that anymore because you're growing in confidence, you're growing in worthiness, you're growing in stability, emotional stability. And so those constructs are going to be released. And we did see communication coming in. What do the feminines need to know? Love. I commit to the practice of seeing good in all things. So for preparation, you're also being asked to have unconditional love, Divine Feminines, and to prepare for this without judgment, ridicule, and being told energetically, if you're still in an attitude of eye for an eye, like they're going to get a piece of me when they come back, you are not going to have that. Likewise, if you're still fearful or there's cringe or you're feeling fragile as a response, you've taken it personally. If your divine counterpart has blocked you or taken space or friend zoned you or whatever it may be, if you're still in turmoil about that, you won't have your communication coming in. So it takes two. Both have to work through the fragility in order to stabilize, to be grateful for what those histories show us. And when we come into a more higher frequency of positive feeling, an excited anticipation, gratitude, that's when we meet up again. So there is a preparation in the mix here. And this cycle is coming to a close where the masculines have to resist or take space. It can be now done with honoring and communication. That's what the energy is suggesting. Free will is another thing, to each their own. What can we see for the masculine's heart space for the feminines? Major tower moment. I'm seeing things with more awareness and less pain. So it's dawning on them that a lot of the things that have challenged the couples in these unions, in these processes, have not been personal. Whatever caused the masculines to be fragile. They're now seeing how it's making them more resilient, stronger, and it's been a blessing in disguise. On the heart space, they know this. It's changing everything. They are admitting that they are out of their comfort zone, and whatever happened recently shook them, and they don't want to see it as pain. Part of the resilience, part of this support in the energetic realms is making them strong enough not to have to be so separate in the 3D. They are giving themselves reality checks. They're saying, do I actually need to be so drastic in my actions? Do I have to be so reactive? Do I have to be so dire? Do I have to be so spastastic? Do I have to create the illusion of comfort that way? Because when they go through these motions, it doesn't change how they emotionally feel. And so they're working on their emotional balance and seeing that they have work to do, that they can change the way they are navigating. For the feminine's response, patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Yeah, divine feminines. So masculines, your divine feminine knows that this is a developmental stage. The divine feminines have gone through this process in themselves. That's why it's your turn. That's why they can hold space, why they can be unconditional, why they can be ever present when you return, why it can take off where you left off, so to speak, because they've already gone through this. They know their emotions this well, and that sets up a chain reaction. When you come in contact with a feminine who's already balanced their emotions this way, it will inspire you to calibrate to that same frequency. Just by coming in contact like a Wi-Fi drop, you're going to get the information and the cues from that interaction that allow you the permission to become more, have a greater capacity that way. And so yes, your feminine is uncharacteristic, atypical compared to what you're used to in the karmic status quo, and then you are up-leveling. This is the proof. So on the heart space, it's a deep, deep, sincere work. What are the masculines wishing for at this time? Strength, overcoming the devil one step at a time. Literally, they're seeing that every thought, every action, every moment has its own choice points, its own balancing act. They are really looking at reality that way instead of blanket statements I just heard. It's one rose at a time, one ascended choice, ascended word, ascended action at a time, aligning more and more with long-term success, not the instant gratification of needing fickle movements in the world. This is a consistency, constitution balancing out. Change for the feminines. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. Everything changes. That is the only constant. And so this too shall pass. Divine feminines, just know, when you hold a sacred mirror for unconditional love, you will see every angle of the thing, because it is a masterwork. It is complete. It is whole. Everything has a season. Everything has a time. Everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial at every given time. And so we do see through better and worse, sickness and health, good times and bad. That is what we're going through. So just witness. This even looks like a kaleidoscope. Just witness the changing patterns, the changing seasons, the changing motions without fear, divine feminines. Divine masculines, your feminine is truly attuned to this baseline that does weather the changes. Your feminine is a master, an equal, and they can handle whatever you've gone through. They know the truth. They know the baseline. They will meet you there. Now I'm hearing Rumi. There is a field outside of right and wrong. I will meet you there. What are the masculines' actions at this time? Ooh, wow, they're putting down their stubborn tunnel vision about what they think their life should entail or how it should go. They're opening their minds. Maybe. Whatever the deal breakers or limitations or triggers have been, they are back to the drawing board saying, maybe, just maybe, I've been too rigid. I've been too short-sighted. I've been too trigger happy with whatever changes I put up. They're seeing that they've been the ones that are growing, moving beyond their previous comfort. They're getting stronger emotionally. Feminines, worry. I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Yeah, so it's ironic though with the energy conduit between the counterparts as your divine counterpart, or anyone for that matter, that you're quantumly entangled with or energetically aware of, whoever you're focusing on. It doesn't matter, twin, soulmate, karmic partner. When you put the worry down, it goes hand in hand with them opening their mind to other paradigms. They open their mind, it eases the energetic concern, and you experience it as worry dropping off. If you do the healing that allows for you to see your person as totally autonomous, not take it personally, they don't have your energy holding them in a holding pattern. They open their mind and say, wait a second, it's not realistic for me to consider that reality is just this one limited way. Beautiful message. What is the biggest challenge? Passion, wishing on a star, the sexual passion. The challenge for the masculines right now is they're starting to ramp up their sexual pull to the feminine again. And something has happened that's pulled them apart, and it's starting to dawn on them that it's going to take a miracle to come back into favor and back into sexual connection, or to initiate that after what has happened. Judgment for the feminines. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Yeah, so whatever this prodigal masculine energy is, divine feminines, they have had to go to that length, go to that degree. They have had to deviate from the straight and narrow to learn some kind of lesson. It's been a divine detour, but this primal force, this sexual, sensual energy that's growing again is drawing them back in. It's an ebb and flow. It is a dance. It is a twinning process. And eventually it will balance out like that. So these motions of solitude teach us everything about our own wholeness, and it calibrates our sovereignty, our spiritual sovereignty. We are unified, but we are also only responsible for our own karma. 2222. What is the solution for this challenge of feeling like they're far out there and starting to be pulled back? Bravery, that this and that are true. There's no guilt and shame. Divine masculines, if you're finding yourself at the elastic band outer stretch and you're starting to feel that pull back, just know that perspective, near and far, this and that. We need it all to see the whole. We need to experience life in these pendulum swings to find balance in the middle. It's always averaging. It's always balancing. No matter what experience we have, if it's extreme, we seek to have an equal and opposite experience so that we find the truth, the middle point. That is the way energy works through the cosmos. That's what's bringing order to chaos. It is this motion, and it's lived through our emotions, it's lived through our thoughts, it's lived through our actions. We are these instruments. We are this part, this aspect of the cosmos that does this. Especially in the earth plane, this is a reality, a dimension of reality that has duality and emotional navigation. Everything we experience here is with the toggle of love versus fear and the emotional spectrum that indicates those things. Attachment, non-attachment, conditionality, unconditional love. We have this here. This is what we're here to play with, to learn, to calibrate, to bring into balance. We are designed to be these technicians that go into these densities and come back up into balance. It's a sacred, surreal, themed vacation in the cosmos to be incarnated as a human. It's so cool. What is the direction of these connections in the near future? Grounding. the higher love into the physical, a fresh start in the physical. So yeah, we can only learn so much in the energetic realms before we seek to put it into practical application. There is no relationship that offers more opportunity for this kind of practical application than a twin flame or a high-level counterpart like this. Growth is where it's at, everybody. And these cycles within cycles, these patterns, these catalyzing events and solitudes, all of it. We are these counterparts that keep working the puzzle of bringing this growth in. Karmic partners offer this for a time, for a season, a divine detour, but these eternal love pairings keep going through the motions and bringing back to unconditional love, communication, meeting up over and over and again. They are the ones that at the end of our lives we will have seen the most consistent depth that way with. And so just enjoy it. Every connection comes back around in some shape or form. And so just seek to prioritize this higher love, forgiveness, compassion, adventure, openness, dropping the conditionality, and just showing up for it. That's what will bring it back in, especially if there is a gratitude and appreciation, high frequency freedom in that. When we get excited to meet up with that person again because our lives have been benefited by it, yes, we'll be ready for another go round. And for the feminines, happiness. I'm aware that being happy means I'm on the right path. So divine feminines, yes, you're achieving the impossible. You're happy whether your person is in your life or not physically. Watch that, see that. It's also the key to bringing them back in energetically. If you can balance out at each stage of the game into true happiness, without that person, that's what magnetizes the alignment to come back in. You choose to align with happiness despite what contrary information your reality might give you, and boom, you get that alignment again. Okay, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.